Hi everyone, and welcome to the Solidworks Certified Associate Prep. This is a series of modules that will hopefully train you to become really proficient in SolidWorks, with the eventual goal of enabling you to become certified SolidWorks Certified Associate. My name is Adam Wentworth. I have a Master's in Material Science and Engineering from the University of Connecticut, and I'm a certified SolidWorks professional and a certified educator. So there's three levels to SolidWorks certification. You can get the associate, the professional, and then the expert. And being a certified educator allows me to proctor the exams to enable you to become a certified associate. And a certified associate is something that you would expect to be able to get at the end of any college course that would teach you about CAD. So the modules that we're going to review are going to start with some basics, go to sketches, which are two-dimensional things, then features, which turn all your sketches three-dimensional, then assembly, and finally an evaluation. And each of these things we've identified as critical to passing the certification exam. So as you'll see in the basics, it's basically navigation, making sure unit system's correct, assigning material, doing variables, and changing your views. So we can go to a sample exam, and in here this is available for download for free. You can scroll down and see what the exam looks like. So this is a sample exam from a few years ago. It starts off with some basic questions about drawings and what views are what. Then it gets into some part modeling. Here it gives you a few views, a few blueprints, shows you some of these basic system settings that you need, which are the materials, your unit systems, some variables that you have to set in terms of dimensions. Then it asks you to do some evaluation of the parts after you're done sketching them and making features from them. So we basically teach you to go through these basic steps as if you were taking the exam and teaching the skills that you need to pass from start to finish. So some additional resources that are available are the UCONN 3D Printing Club. They have CAD workshops where other certified associates will be able to teach you how to use SolidWorks and when you have troubles with parts, to do some consulting with them. Through recent license upgrades at UCONN, SolidWorks is available for download on a personal laptop or computer. So you can send me an email through the link SolidWorks for PC to get that. If you don't feel like installing it on your computer, you do need Windows. If you don't feel like putting Boot Camp on a Mac computer, or just don't have a good enough computer to run SolidWorks, then you can use Skybox, which is a virtual PC that you would need an engineering login for. And then the way I learned SolidWorks was basically by following YouTube tutorials, having an idea of a part that you'd like to make, and sort of finding someone else who's already made it and following the YouTube videos along with them. So we'll get started with the basics in the next video. Okay, so you can go ahead and open up SolidWorks, and from what I said before, the way I learned was by following along with other videos. So if you follow along with this video, it should enable you to understand why you're doing what you're doing. like going along with the tutorials in SolidWorks. They basically just list a bunch of steps, and then it's very difficult. You don't understand why you're doing each of the steps. So this should give you a better understanding. When you first open SolidWorks, it's going to look like this screen. If you just click in the middle, right, it will get rid of the help on the side. To open a new part, you can hit Control N, or you can click this part up at the top, this blank page icon. Then you can open a part, an assembly, or a drawing. An assembly is just multiple parts put together, and a drawing is a two-dimensional sketch of a part. So we're going to start with a part. You can double click or click OK. Okay, and we're just going to run through the basic views of this. We have some tabs up here which we'll frequently use. These are the Features tab and the Sketch tab. We have a feature tree. So if you hover over this, you see it's called the Feature Manager Design Tree. And this shows us the material, our front, top, and right planes, where our origin is. In the bottom right over here, we have our unit system. Right now, every exam is in millimeters, so MMGS is what we'd like to be in always. So the basics, what we're going to do is to open a part. That's what we just did. Next thing is to set our units, so we're setting MMGS. Next thing is to assign a material. So if you right click this over here, a material, you can look for the material that's supposed to be assigned in this list. If you don't see it, you can click Edit Material and go through whatever material it is. Sometimes you'll have aluminum alloys like 1060 alloy, and you can just apply. So click Apply and then click Close, and it will be assigned here. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is imagine we had some global variables we have to set. So I like to have the equations listed over here. So if you right click, hide and show tree items, you can make the equations visible by going down here and clicking show. Click OK, and then go into manage equations by right clicking. And then you can add all the global variables here. So we would just type A, for example, hit the tab button, and then say A is equal to 81. Then hit tab twice. Say B tab is equal to 50. Tab, and C is could be equal to a function of A and B. For example, it could be equal to A minus B. Okay. So what you'll notice is that when you type variables into these equations, they need to be surrounded by single quotation marks. Actually double quotation marks. And the variables will be slightly blue. That's how you know they're going to work, and this checkbox will be green. So you can make variables that are functions of other variables or numbers. You can add 10 or whatever you like. Okay. So that's basically how to set equations. You can go back and manage the equations and change the numbers for different sections of the test. They may change the variables. The next thing is we have to, maybe we can have some part on here. So we want to be able to start a sketch. So there's a couple of ways to do it. We have to basically start somewhere. At least if we are 3D printing something, the front plane is usually the plate that we're building on top of, so we like to sketch on that and build away from that. So you can start a sketch either by clicking on one of those planes and then you'll see this icon bar pop up, and you can click Sketch here, or you can click Sketch in the top left of your screen, and then select a plane to draw on. So you'll notice that it becomes normal to our view. If I hold the middle mouse button and move around, my origin is starting to move, and this is sort of rotating around the part. I can always bring it back normal to my face by right-clicking Sketch 1 and clicking Normal 2. You'll see it reorients us. If you click Spacebar, you can click View Selector or Control Spacebar, and notice that we can reorient ourselves anywhere around the part, such as in an isometric view, which is this sort of edge between two faces, or a trimetric view, which would be in a corner. And then we can begin sketching. So this will conclude the first segment of basics. So what we learned is how to open a part, set some units, some global variables, set the material, and how to change our views.